As I stood at the altar, watching my bride walk toward me, I smiled, not because I was happy, but because I knew something she didn't. In just a few moments, her dream wedding would turn into her worst nightmare, and I was about to give her a wedding gift she'd never forget. As Jake stood at the altar, watching Lisa walk toward him in her white dress, he felt his heart race, not with love, but with anticipation. She thought this was her fairy tale wedding, but she had no idea that in a few moments, her perfect day would turn into her worst nightmare. Just 2 weeks ago, Jake received an anonymous text: "Your bride isn't as loyal as you think. Check room 304 at the Grand Hilton right now." At first, he thought it was a prank, but something in his gut told him to check. Dragging his best friend Mark along, he drove to the hotel, his mind racing. What he saw through the slightly open door shattered him. Lisa, tangled in bed with his best man, Chris. He wanted to storm in, scream, demand an explanation, but instead, he turned around and walked away, not because he was weak, but because he had already decided he wouldn't just cancel the wedding. No, that would be too easy. She had planned to humiliate him behind his back. He would humiliate her in front of everyone. For the next 2 weeks, Jake played the perfect fiancé, smiling, laughing, telling Lisa he couldn't wait to marry her. Meanwhile, he hired a private investigator, collected proof, and made some special arrangements with the wedding DJ. On the big day, everything went according to plan. The ceremony was beautiful, the guests were charmed, and when the officiant finally said, "You may kiss the bride," Jake hesitated for just a moment, then leaned in, sealing the deal. Lisa looked at him with pure happiness, thinking she had gotten away with everything. And then came the reception. As everyone sat down, Jake took the microphone, his voice steady. "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming. Today is the happiest day of my life, and I'd love to share a little something about my beautiful bride." The lights dimmed, the projector screen lowered, Lisa's smile wavered. Then, the first clip played, grainy security footage from the Grand Hilton, Lisa sneaking into room 304 with Chris, then texts, then photos, a full, undeniable timeline of her betrayal. The room fell silent, except for the gasps and murmurs. Lisa's face drained of color. Chris shifted uncomfortably in his seat. And then, Lisa shot up, her voice shaking. "Jake, what is this?" He looked her dead in the eyes, his voice calm. "This, my dear wife, is my wedding gift to you." The room erupted. Lisa ran out, sobbing, her perfect white dress dragging behind her. Chris followed, only to be met with a solid punch to the face from Mark. Guests whispered in shock. Lisa's parents sat frozen, unable to even look at her. And Jake? He simply walked over to the bar, poured himself a glass of champagne, and took a slow, satisfied sip. Because today wasn't just his wedding day, it was the day he gave Lisa exactly what she deserved.